Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today's video is a bit different than usual. I will be doing a tier list for Premier League players who have been the best player for their club, and I've been ranking them individually. So it's taking one player from each club that has been the best and ranking them from team of the season worthy to class to decent to average and to okay. So look, I mean, these 20 players that are on the screen have been selected to me and by me as arguably the best player from each club, and I'll be ranking them later on. Just a different video. If you guys do enjoy these type of videos, let me know in the comments down below. I am looking to do more tier list videos and just football videos in general to expand the content on here, not just always Real Madrid content. So let me know if you guys do enjoy these videos, and we shall begin. I will be doing it alphabetical order, even though it's not placed alphabetically. I will be doing it in alphabetical order. So let's start things off with Arsenal, and the player I've chosen is Martin Odegaard. I could have chosen many players to be the team of the season. I mean, Martinelli, Saka, Partey, Saliba, Ramsdale. I mean, even players like Zinchenko, even players like Granit Xhaka, Gabriel Jesus, Gabriel. You know, there are so many players. You could choose 8 to 9. But I think, if you ask me, the one player that has changed this Arsenal team, I would say it's Odegaard. You know, back in the days of your Santi Cazorla and your Alexis Sanchez and your Mesut Ozil, Arsenal haven't seen that type of play in the attacking side of the pitch. Maybe since Aubameyang, really, that is stepping up and getting them goals and assists like Odegaard has. And genuinely, I believe he has been the player of the season. He's the captain, and yeah, I mean, I'm a Real Madrid fan, and I would say it's a bit of a shame, but look, Odegaard was never going to fit into that Real Madrid setup. Anyways, I mean, the last time Real Madrid had an attacking midfielder was probably again, you're looking at Isco, and that was 3-4 years ago. So, I mean, I'm looking at the names around. I'm gonna put Odegaard in team of the season worthy. I think he's been incredible for Arsenal, and honestly, he deserves it. Again, it's 5 tiers, so realistically, I'm looking at 4 players per tier. So I need to be careful with where I'm putting them compared to the rest. Yeah, but we move on to Aston Villa with Ollie Watkins. What a season Villa having. I'm pretty sure they are 7th, 8th. I mean, look, if they don't finish within the European spots, it'll be a shame. But still an incredible season that they have had. And Watkins has been banging in the goals. I know currently right now they're on a bit of a patchy run. I'm sure they get out of it, and I'm sure they'll finish the top of the table. Whether they make Europe, it's honestly tough to say, but it's so tough. I mean, I'm looking at the other names that are going, where do I put him? I'm gonna put him in decent. I know it sounds poor, but I'm looking at the other names around, and I'm not sure if I can put him any higher than decent. I don't want to put him average or even okay. I think he's a very good player, and I'm just thinking to myself, he'll be a good fit for like a Newcastle who are trying to make that push. Maybe Newcastle will be looking for, you know, someone above Watkins and his level, but I think he'll be a very good squad player for team at Newcastle, and maybe even like a Spurs could go with him. So realistically, I would go with that. Again, like I said, in fact I haven't said it, but I can easily change things around later on if I feel like it. So stick to the end. Next up, we've got Bournemouth, and I've got Philip Billing. Bournemouth, you know, probably gonna stay up now, and he's been incredible. In the number 10 role as well, but again, he can play as an 8, maybe even as a 6. He's a very versatile midfielder. He's like 6'6", I believe, or 6'7", something incredible like that. And like I said, Bournemouth will probably stay up. And he's been one of the highest scoring players, I believe, with Tavernier and Solanke. But I've chosen him because he's been, I'm pretty sure, quite consistent. But I'm gonna put him in average. Again, might sound a bit harsh, but I'm comparing him with the likes of Salah, Erling Haaland, we'll get on to later on, and I just can't put him any higher. So, average for me. Moving on, there are a few options. Where do we go first? Do we do Brighton or do we do Brentford? I can't remember from now. Let's do Brentford. Let's go with Ivan Toney. Even though he was charged with betting, illegal betting, something along those lines, he's still been playing. Whether he plays next season or whether he gets banned from playing, it's a different question. He's still an incredible player. He's still scoring goals. 20 plus goals he's gonna get, and look, he's one of the top scorers. I mean, trying to match up with Haaland and Kane is practically impossible. So, you know, being just below those players, but also scoring quite a lot of goals for a player like Ivan Toney is something that is very, very obviously incredible. I'm gonna put him in decent. He's a good striker, but I'll put him above Watkins. I think he is in a higher level than Watkins. But again, later on, I might put him in class. But honestly, I think Toney is a player that, again, like Watkins, could get into a Spurs, a Newcastle. But will he make it to an Arsenal? Maybe he might. Will he go into a Manchester United? Maybe he might. So maybe then you could consider him in class. But for now, and let me say again, for now, I will put him in decent. And then we've got McAllister of Brighton. I mean, look, like Arsenal, Brighton, I could have chosen quite a few. Solimatch, Mitoma, and Siso. Maybe even the likes of Evan Ferguson and Lewis Dunk were all shouts. But McAllister, like Bailing, very versatile player. Can play as a 10 basically, but at 8, you know, even at 6, he's incredible. He's very versatile, and I think he'll be getting a big move in the summer. I reckon he'll go to Liverpool. I think Liverpool basically putting themselves out of the Bellingham deal, meaning that they will probably spend half of that, maybe less, on McAllister, and then maybe getting another player. I think he's an incredible player, genuinely, and I'll put him in class. I think he's a very good player. He could easily get into a Liverpool, Manchester United, I think Chelsea he would go into. I think even Spurs he would go into. He could easily go into 4 or 5 clubs, maybe even Arsenal. But honestly, yeah, incredible player. Moving on, let's go to Crystal Palace. Eberechi Eze. I mean, he's just been scoring goals left, right, and center, hasn't he? Even when Crystal Palace haven't been looking at their best, he's been there. He's been getting the goals. And honestly, very crucial player for Palace. and you know they're probably gonna finish mid-table anyways. So they're not gonna go down. I would put him in, I would say average. Again, a good player, and average might sound harsh for any of these players, but yeah. Moving on, we have got Chelsea with Thiago Silva. What a player. And honestly, a legend of the game, a legend of the sports. But is he team of the season worthy? Has he been as good as some of the other players who are on this list? It's tough. But I think you have to be putting him into consideration here. And I'm going to put him in team of the season worthy here. And I'm going to be putting him above the rank of Erdiger, I think. I mean, Chelsea have been horrendous this season, but there's one player and one player who looks like the best at Chelsea. It's Thiago Silva. And at his age, 36, 37, he's still going. So look, incredible. Moving on, we have got, where do we move on? Let's go to Everton with, pretty sure it's alphabetical, right? Yep. Everton, Alex Iwobi. Everton, are they going to get relegated? I went on to Everton and I was thinking of a player. And honestly, it's mean, but I'm going to put him okay. I think I was considering Pickford, but honestly, except for Jordan Pickford and maybe Iwobi and maybe Onana, realistically, there hasn't been anyone that has stood out and look at me and go, I am the number one because I've been incredible. I just think they're all on the same level as each other. So realistically, I'm going to put him here. And we have to fill it up anyway, so we need to have 4 each. So I think it's only fair. Moving on to Fulham with Palhinha, 20 million pounds, euros. I don't know which currency it was that they pay for him. And again, like McAllister, he could be going to Liverpool. Where do we put him? Honestly, I think he's class. I think he's an incredible player. I think I'll put him behind McAllister for now, but he's incredible. And yeah, I mean, he'll probably go for about 50, 60 million now. And if Liverpool invest 120, 150 million on these two, I think they'll be better off these two than Bellingham alone. So yeah, incredible player. And I expect him to get the big move like McAllister. He could fit into 4 of the big 6, maybe even 5. He could walk into Arsenal. For me. Next up, we have Leeds with Rodrigo, ex-Valencia. Went into Leeds for quite a hefty price. For the first few seasons, didn't look like a good investment, but this season I believe there's 12 goals in the Premier League. For a Leeds side, they are 17th, 18th. That's honestly incredible, and I will put him in decent. I think he's been incredible for a side that are gonna go down really, but who knows? Again, I think putting him here is a bit too high. Would you put him above Watkins or Tony? But I wouldn't put him here. I think it's a bit too harsh. So I think decent is the level. And then we've got James Maddison. And honestly, this is where it starts getting tough. Because honestly, it's tough. But I'm going to put him. Oh, this is very, very tough now. Where do we put him? I mean, I think I'm gonna put him here. Is he an saying James Maddison is an average player? I just think it's too much. Does he deserve here? I will put him in decent for now. I thought he was gonna be incredible, and he has been, to be fair, but it seems like he's kind of dropped off a little bit recently, but still an incredible player. And again, like Tony and Watkins, I think Leicester, not Leicester, Newcastle United could do with someone like him. Liverpool, Mo Salah, team of the season worthy. I think he's been a team of the season worthy player, even though he's not had a typical Salah season. He's still been Liverpool's best player by far, and arguably the league's best player. So, for me, I would have Salah up there. But here's where it gets tough, and it's not where I want to put him, but Erling Haaland maxes out the team of the season worthy spot. The best player in the Premier League at the moment. How many goals is he on? 35? He's broken the record of 34 in his first season at 22 years old. That's unheard of. And of course, I would love for one day him to come to Real Madrid. I really liked him. In the first leg, he was a bit quiet, but he still caused Alaba and Rudiger a bit of problem. So personally, I'll have him there. But here's where it gets tricky. Casemiro, class. Has he been better than Odegaard? If you ask me, for the first half of the season, I would say yes. But in recent games, he's been pretty poor, hasn't he? And I would put, if Rodri was in for Man City, Rodri would be ahead of him. And honestly, I think that he hasn't been as influential and as important. And he's still an important player, but he hasn't been putting that sort of performance in for the last couple of games. And because of that, you have to be looking at consistency here. And I still think he's an incredible player. But if I compare him to the rest of these guys, I think he's just slightly below. And I will put him like this, but because I'm limiting myself to 4 per row, I have to be putting him class. Moving on, we've got Nottingham Forest, Brennan Johnson. He's an okay player. I think he's better than he will be. Again, doing it for a side that are probably going to go down. But would I put him here though? Again, you look at the remaining names, and we still have to fill in average and okay as well. So, look, I'll put Johnson in okay for now, but we'll see. Moving on, we've got, actually I should have done Newcastle first, but Newcastle United, Nick Pope, and this is where I think he comes in for me in decent. There was Sven Botman, there was Kieran Trippier, there was Dan Burn, arguably even Almiron, Isaac, Willock. There was so many options as well, but I chose Pope, and I would say he's a decent player because we've still got a couple of big names coming up as well. So, let's move on to Southampton with James Ward-Prowse. Wow. Where do I even put him? Does this look okay? Compared to the rest, I think he's had an average season. And I don't mean average as in a bad season, but you know what? I reckon he's had a better season than Rodrigo. But Rodrigo has got 12 goals. You know what? Consistency-wise, Ward-Prowse has been decent. I think Rodrigo has got 12 goals, yes. But him and Ward-Prowse hasn't been consistent enough, in my opinion. Moving on, Harry Kane. Let's put him in class first. Has Harry Kane been consistent? Yes. So then maybe you drop Odegaard to class. I think that's how it looks like. I think Harry Kane has been behind Erling Haaland, the second best player in the league. And Odegaard has been here for a while, but I think compared to these four, I will have these four above Odegaard. So that leaves us with the last two players, West Ham and Wolves, Declan Rice and Ruben Neves. Declan Rice, I can't put him in OK. I can't. So then I have to move one of these two down. I will move Billing down. Is Rice an average player? No, he isn't. Has Rice been average? Declan Rice average? Nah. Personally, I'll have him higher than Ward-Prowse. And I think he deserves to. So, I would personally put him here. Yeah, I mean, he's probably going to get his big money move for 100 million. But he's been instrumental to West Ham. And I think he deserves to be here. I think, look, I'm not going to hype up him too much because honestly, I think he's a good player, but 100 million, I mean, even Jude Bellingham, 120 million is too much. So I'll put him here, but I think there's an argument for James Ward-Prowse and even Rodrigo to be further up. So that leaves us with Ruben Neves. I'll put him above Eze, but I'll put him here. I think he's had an average season, Ruben Neves. Personally, I mean, Wolves haven't scored much. And I don't think his stats compared to the previous seasons has been as good. Wolves, I think they are going to stay up. They're going to finish mid-table realistically. But they haven't looked particularly great. So I'll just put Neves in there. So that would be my tier list. Now, bear in mind, to all of you people out there, they're like, how is Iwobi in OK? Or how is Ward-Prowse in average? And how is Declan Rice in decent? And how is Casemiro in class? I'm not ranking them based on who is the best player in the league. I'm ranking them based on the best players in the league with only 4 per category. And if you ask me, would I rather have Casemiro, or do I think Casemiro has been throughout the whole season more consistent and better compared to Thiago Silva? I would say no. I think Thiago Silva has been more consistent. So make it the same case. I'm not saying Iwobi is a bad player, or Billing's a bad player, or Neves is a bad player, or Casemiro is a bad player. I'm just saying, if you ask me based on consistency, out of all player of the season for all 20 teams, this is how I have it. Erling Haaland, arguably the best player, but also very consistent with his goals. Mo Salah has been up there for Liverpool. Even though Liverpool probably are going to finish 5th, he's been there. Kane, Spurs are probably going to finish 6th, 7th maybe. He is still the second top goal scorer in the Premier League. Thiago Silva in a Chelsea side that are going to finish 14th probably has been their best player and has been the leader in the team. So I can't see anything getting past these 4. Then again, Odegaard has been very, very consistent for an Arsenal side. They're going to finish 2nd. Casemiro, he's come in from Real Madrid. He's changed Man United completely. That doesn't make him a bad player. That just doesn't make him as good as the rest in terms of a consistent season. So I hope you guys can understand what I'm getting at. But here is my tier list. Let me know what your thoughts are. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Hit that subscribe to the channel on already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.